For the matrix M is equal to 4, 10, 1, and 3, determine the inverse matrix M inverse. So we are given this matrix, matrix M, and our goal is to determine the inverse of M. Now, what is the formula for the inverse of M? If we have a square matrix, right? If we have a square matrix, let's say that this square matrix has the entries. So let's call the square matrix M, right? So if we have the square matrix or a 2 by 2 matrix that has the entries A, B, C, and D, if that's the case, if we have the square matrix or this 2 by 2 matrix that has the entries A, B, C, and D, then the inverse of this matrix, M inverse, is going to be the following. It's going to be 1 over the determinant multiplied by the adjoint. Now, what does that mean? Well, if we have a matrix M with these entries, and we want to find out its inverse, we'll put 1 first, and we divide it by AD. What is AD? That's going to be A multiplied by D. And if BC, that means we multiply B and C, and we subtract them, right? So we multiply these two entries, and we multiply these two entries. So AD and BC, and then we subtract the products, all right? So that's gonna be 1 over the determinant, okay? Now, what is this, right? This is saying that you're gonna take 1 over the determinant and multiply it by the adjoint. Now, the adjoint is basically what you do is you take this entry and this entry. Notice that we switch them, right? So we put A here and we put D here. As you can see, D is here where A used to be, and A is where D used to be. And then you negate this entry and you negate this entry. So you first switch, right? You switch these two entries, then you negate this and you negate that. And so that's basically how you determine the inverse. So if we want the inverse of M, right, in this case, M is defined as with these particular numbers. If we want M inverse is going to be equal to 1 over the determinant. What do? We multiply 4 times 3, right? 4 times 3. We multiply 10 times 1, 10 times 1, and we subtract these two, right? So 4 times 3, 4 times 3, 10 times 1, 10 times 1, and we subtract these two, good? And then we have to switch these two entries. So 4 and 3, we switch those places. So that's why we put 3 here and 4 here. Next, we negate 1 and we negate 10. So you negate 1 and you negate 10. So what does that leave us with? Well, what is 4 times 3? Well, 4 times 3 is 12. 10 times 1 is 10, all right? So we have 1 over 12 minus 10 multiplied by this matrix. And what is 12 minus 10? Well, 12 minus 10 is definitely 2. And so we have 1 over 2 multiplied by this matrix. So we're going to take this scalar and multiply it by each term or each entry in this matrix. So what do we have? We have a half multiplied by 3, which gives us 3 over 2. We have a half multiplied by negative 10, which gives us negative 10 over 2. We have a half multiplied by negative 1, which gives us negative 1 over 2. We have a half multiplied by 4, which gives us 4 over 2. And next, we simplify this matrix. And we simplify this matrix, we have 3 over 2. Negative 10 divided by 2 is negative 5. And negative 1 over 2 is still negative 1 over 2. Now, 4 divided by 2 is simply 2. And so M inverse is equal to this matrix that we have. And that's how we determine the inverse of M.